Today is my husband and mine 27th year anniversary. And I am going to make a special dessert. This is gonna probably be in 2 parts because the first part is making the shell, the chocolate shell. And the middle is gonna be filled with ice creams and chocolate candies and things like that. But I can't do that until after dinner tonight. We're going out to dinner. But I want to show you how I make these bowls. First of all, you need a balloon. I'm making 2 of them because my son and my daughter-in-law are here, so they're going to get one too. What you do is you melt your chocolate. You don't want to get it too hot because it will pop your balloon. I've done that. So you melt your chocolate in the microwave 30 seconds at half power, power level 5, until it's melted. And I keep these bowls in a 9 by 13 pan, depending on the size of bowls you use to melt your chocolate, but this is a 13 by 9 pan of boiling water, just to keep it melted. And the chocolate is not hot, it's just melted. So what I'm doing, I'm trying to get something that the balloon will stand in, and I found that a ramekin will work just fine. The problem is it wants to fall out, so I have to kind of make a glue with the chocolate around the rim. I'm using white and dark only because it's, it's beautiful. I've made this once before. I'm going to attempt it again. So this will stand on that chocolate rim, see? I just want to make sure it's even all around because you don't want a lopsided bowl. But no matter, if it's lopsided or not, you're going to put some melted chocolate on some wax paper to make a base. And while it's wet, when it's time to remove this balloon, you're gonna make a glue basically with the melted chocolate and then stand it up on the base. So this will be turned upwards, okay? So what we're looking at right now is the bottom of the bowl. Now, I'm still working on this first one. I'm getting it as much chocolate as I can on because the more you have on, the less fragile it will be. It's going to be fragile anyway, but the less fragile it'll be when you have more on it. So I don't know if you can see. I'm going to turn this around so you can see. It just drips. And see how it goes like that? But you want a lot on it because when you pop this balloon and you pull that balloon out, you want this thing to be stable where it'll hold your ice cream and things like that. So I'm just taking more, and you can drizzle it, you can marble it, you can do whatever you want, but you want to make sure that this is going to be stable. Get some chocolate on that side. And these are just melting wafers. This is the second time I've ever done this. And when I tell you, the first time that I did this, I wasn't thinking about the balloon, how fragile it is with heat. And so while my husband was at work, while Dan was at work, I made this thing because it had to set for a few hours to make sure it was stable enough to pop that balloon and make our dessert. Well, I melted the chocolate and doing what I'm doing right now, but the chocolate was too hot. And this balloon popped and chocolate went all over me, all over the kitchen, all over the ceiling. It was a mess. So I learned. And I have a lot more melting chocolate if I need it. You can always add more if you need it. And if it starts dripping off, just put it up here. Or remelt it if you have to remelt. You can even put some back in the bowl here. And I got these little fingers of chocolate going down, and that's fine, except they're just too risky to break when I try to put this thing together. You can even take I'm using a plastic spoon just to be on the safe side. You can even take this and basically paint it on. Look, just put the chocolate where you need it. And see how this glue is holding that on there? As much movement as I'm doing. If I didn't have that chocolate on there, it'd be rolling all over the place. And I'd really have a mess. So, put some down here. I started doing this one first because it looked like the air was leaking out of it, so I wanted to hurry up and get that bowl made. And if it marbles, if it gets mixed up, that's okay, because it's marbling on here. Can I tip this a little bit? Ooh. I just want to make sure I have enough bowl to hold the ice cream. So I got to make sure I don't have any open spots because ice cream will start melting. So, kind of get where this chocolate will sit. Got an opening right there. Let's see. I hope everyone's having a good day. Okay, I have made a mess on my counter, but that's all right. Okay, so here is a bowl, and I'm just inspecting it for any openings or weak areas, which I think I'm good. This goes in the refrigerator. I'll be right back. There's only enough room for one balloon right now because of this plate in the refrigerator, because I have shelves on the other side that I can't take out. So what I'm going to do is wait for that one to cool and then remove this from the plate, and then I can get the balloon in. There's just not enough room for two plates. This I'm going to try to do designs on that I will glue on to the outside of the bowl when the time comes. Put it in the middle and let it go down. The top needs to be on on the underside later, so you want to have the majority of your melted chocolate up here. And it looks like I may need to melt some more, so not a problem. This is so much fun. Let's put some white chocolate on there. Like I said, I only have 2 balloons, so I only have 1 shot at this. The balloons are fairly clean when they come out of the package, but if you want, you can wash them off, rinse them off on the outside. Just make sure they're good and dry before you do this. Otherwise, it may not work out for you. This is probably one of the most unique things I've ever made to eat. Yeah, I'm definitely gonna have to melt some more chocolate. I'm going to kind of use the back of the spoon to kind of fill in some areas, and that's fine because it's all going to get covered again anyway. Just kind of reinforces the base a little more too, because it's the base all around. Actually, you have to have enough substance to hold when you pop your balloon and fill it with your goodies. Oh, look at that, make some swirls. Oh, look at that. You can get creative, huh? I like that one. Look at that. Isn't it pretty? And any mess you make on the counter, you can eat later. Just peel it up. I think this actually ensures that there won't be any holes when you do this. I'm kind of learning as I go. See, this is the second time I've done this. So, yeah, do that and you won't have to go back and reinforce holes. Okay, I just got water in that. Lord. All right, I'm gonna have to melt more chocolate, so I'll take care of this and I'll be right back. Perfect. Okay, now let's get some white chocolate in here. Just stir that around a little bit till it gets a little softer. I melted it in the microwave, but keeping it in hot water helps it to be more liquefied, more runny. kind of like edible art, I guess. This is just the coolest thing. I don't even remember where I saw it. I don't know if it was YouTube or on Pinterest that I first saw this. I don't know, but I tried it. I guess I can do it, and I'm doing it now. I thought, you know, sometimes when you make something and you feel like, oh, it's just a fluke, it's a one-time thing. Well, apparently, you can do it again. Just reinforcing. And when you put the new melted chocolate on, it kind of wakes up the chocolate underneath and makes it blend more again. So, and you want this to be as thick as possible so it doesn't break. Because let me tell you, when that balloon pops, you don't want to have flying chocolate all over the place. Isn't that neat though? Look at that. And it's not gonna be even all around the bottom. You want it to look like that. Kind of crazy. And any of the chocolate that's dripping, you can pull it back up and fill in. There it is. A little bit of white chocolate now. This is probably the most bizarre dessert I've ever had. Just going around and making sure I don't have any thin spots. And this is for chocolate lovers. There's only a couple of people I knew in my lifetime that did not like chocolate. I don't get that. But this is definitely for chocolate lovers. Now you don't have to have the chocolate all the way down to the bowl, but if it goes down there, that's a good thing, because when you take this thing out, and if any breaks, then you might have lost a little bit of chocolate, but you'll have most of it for the bowl. Now look at that, it's sliding down. Yeah. Okay, so what I'm gonna do now, this has got to go in the refrigerator. I've got to take the plate from the other one out and then leave the dish in there with the other balloons. So this has to cool. So I will be right back. Okay. So what I've done, I've got a flat surface that I can move, just a baking sheet and some parchment paper. I'm going to do some shapes with chocolate. I've got different size hearts because these are going to be glued on to that bowl. And I can do all kind of things. I'm going to make some little flowers, swirly flowers. Let's see. There's one flower. Not a very good one, but there's another one. And another one. Now I'm going to try to do some hearts, and I got these because I can't make a perfect heart shape. I don't know if it'll work out or not, but I can at least make a stencil. I don't know if this will work or not because it might stick to that heart. I can't let it sit there too long. Let's see. Ah, okay. We'll see. I'm not doing it on the outside because I might have a tendency to go way out of border. So I'm staying inside the cutter. It's a little messy, but I can, when it dries, I can actually trim some of that off. All right, I'm gonna do some different sizes maybe. You know what? I'm going to use this side and paint some chocolate on it and make like a stamp, and then I can reinforce it with more chocolate. Let's see here. It's not the best, but I can go over it with the chocolate. Yep. Maybe if I let it sit on there for a little longer. If nothing else, it's really fun. Okay, so I'm going to go over this. Ah. It's okay. That's okay. Okay. Well, it's a good idea, but it's just not. I mean, it gives me the main shape, right? And size. Let me make some more flowers. Let's see. There, that one worked out better. There's my shapes. So I'm gonna go put this in the fridge. And the good thing about parchment paper is these will peel right off when they're ready. And it won't take long because this will harden fast. Okay, in the fridge. Okay, now what I'm gonna do is let that set. I really can't do any more with it until it's time to fill the bowl with ice cream and everything. So this will be a 2-part segment, possibly 3, but I'm gonna try for 2. So when I get home from dinner and we're ready for dessert, that's when I'm gonna fill it with the ice cream, and I'll show you how I fill this thing up and how we're gonna enjoy it. So that's it for now, and I will meet you back after dinner. Okay, so what I've decided to do to save myself time later, I'm gonna go ahead and scoop up the ice creams and put them in a Pyrex dish, and I'm gonna stick it in the freezer, and they will already be dished up to put into those chocolate bowls. They will already be done and they'll stay frozen. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna put some parchment in here. And I'll cover it up with plastic wrap when I put it in the freezer. Now, I've got different kinds of ice creams. I've chosen these. I got Baskin-Robbins Jamocha Almond Fudge. I have Haagen-Dazs chocolate ice cream. I've got strawberry ice cream. It's just great value at Walmart. I went to H-E-B and got it's called Turned in the Heart of Texas, and it has let's see, chocolate ice cream with Dutch cocoa, naturally flavored chocolate chunks, and chocolate swirls. So I'm going to have a mixture of vanilla, chocolate, and the pink from the strawberry. So I've got different size scoops. So here's 2 larger ones and smaller ones. And I'm going to have all different kinds of baubles, if you will. So I'm just going to start dishing it up, putting it in a dish, stick it in the freezer, and then it'll all just be ready to fill up later. Ooh. So I'm gonna make different sizes of different ones. I think it'll be pretty. And you know, we've always heard that you eat with your eyes and your nose and then your mouth. So if it looks good and smells good, you know, the more attractive it is, the more you're gonna want it. But no one now turns down ice cream in the first place. Okay, so the ice cream has softened up enough. I've got some in the freezer already. I just have to do it in batches so it doesn't start to melt. But I've got this softened up, and I'm gonna show you what I'm doing. And then you'll see me go back and forth, putting ice cream in the freezer and then coming back for more ice cream, okay? So here we go. Okay, so there is one more step I have to do. I'm going to remove the balloons from these bowls. And this is going to be the tricky part. And also, I had some melted chocolate in a squeeze bottle, and I found that keeping that melted, I fill up my one of these cups, it's heavy duty, with hot water, and I put that bottle of chocolate in it, and it still melted. So that's a good tip that I figured out today. Okay, so now comes the fun part. Oh my goodness, this is the nerve-wracking part. Like I said, I've only done this once. So what I need to do, take this out. Okay, so I'm gonna remove this from the parchment paper, and it has all that melted chocolate all around that little bowl. Just kind of break that chocolate off. And you can eat it. You can add it to your dessert. Oh boy, this is going to be tricky. All right, so what I need to do is figure out how to get this off that bowl. Ooh, I don't know if I can do it. All right, let's see here. Hold on, hold on, hold on. I'm gonna go ahead and make my base. That that's gonna stand on. I don't know. This is the scary part, guys. It's taken the chocolate off of this bowl. I didn't think about maybe putting some plastic wrap. So that, I think the next time I do this, I'll put plastic wrap or something on it so it'll come off a little easier. What I'm risking is breaking off these drips, and that it really isn't a big deal. I just got to make sure I don't pop that balloon just yet. So what I'm doing, I'm just kind of going around and pinching off chocolate as little as possible. And I can always add more drips to it if I wanted. The balloon will be more stable when this bowl isn't on it, the glass bowl. Now, like I said, if these pieces come off, we can re-glue them back on with more melted chocolate. I just want to get this off. Now, I've had this in the refrigerator for about an hour, and it's hard enough. Holy moly! Okay, now this is the tricky part. When you pop this balloon, you want to use some very sharp scissors. You pull this as tight as you can, and you're going to just kind of cut a little piece. So it's not going to be a burst. It's just going to be a little tiny cut up towards the tail. See that? And it's going to continue to leak out. Now I can make a bigger hole, okay? You just didn't want that sudden pop. So what I'm doing, I'm just kind of pushing it in carefully, and it's literally coming off the sides of that bowl. There you go. Success. Look at this. And it's on its own stand, okay? So if you look, all the jagged edges, is that beautiful or what? And I can put these inside this bowl, or I can remelt them. We'll see what happens. But right now, I need to get this other one out. They should be able to share the same plate in the refrigerator and not take up so much space. But success, right? That's what we want. Okay, put that here. Now this one is significantly smaller. That's the one that had what looked like a leak in it. Okay, we're going to have a delicious dinner at a Brazilian steakhouse, and I can't wait. So I'll be back, and I'll see you shortly. Welcome back. We're home from our dinner. Now I've got to work fast because I've taken the balloon bowls out. I've just got to deal with this one here. Then we're going to glue on the chocolate, and we're going to fill the bowls with ice cream before it melts. So what you do is you see this little tail, you pull it real tight, and what you're going to do is take a little tiny snip. You don't want to pop it because it'll, like I said, be very messy. But go ahead and try to snip the hole. And now that it's deflated a little bit, I can open it up more. So I'm just gently pushing that balloon down, and I'm going to pull it away from the chocolate. This one's rather high, so I'm probably going to have to break off some pieces so I can fill it. So what I'll do is just kind of cut a little bit, and if it breaks a little, it breaks a little. Like that. Oh well. It is what it is, guys. Honestly, it doesn't really matter, right? Okay, so I've melted my chocolate, and I'm going to kind of be gluing on embellishments. And just kind of stick them anywhere. See that? It just glues on. Let's do a heart. And I don't have a really flush surface because of the way that the chocolate melts. It's really rigid. Ridges, I don't know what you call it. This small heart here. I don't know why I just picked up those scissors. And there's a few of them on there. Fly. Okay. Edible glue. I tell you what, we had the most enjoyable dinner. We went to a Brazilian steakhouse in Waco, and it was so good. You go, you starve yourself all day because you're going to pay a lot of money for the food, and it's tons of all-you-can-eat food. They bring the meat to the table, all kinds of different meats and chicken and shrimp, and and the salad bar to die for. I can't believe there's a fly in the house. Okay, now what I gotta do, I'm not gonna worry about these right now. I've gotta get this ice cream in the bowls. These are freezing cold. I just brought them in from the freezer out in the garage. So they're really, really cold. I really could use some tongs to put these in. Guess I'll use these. Okay. So what I'm going to do is, because they're on parchment, they'll come right off. Look, see? Ice cream. There's one. And I'm going to kind of shake them up a little bit and change them up. There's some strawberry and a little big chocolate. And it looks like I'm going to have a lot of space. But you could actually, if you wanted to, fill this up with brownies or something, and then the ice cream on top. But if you're not going to be able to eat all the ice cream, you don't want to have a soggy mess of brownies underneath. I mean, you can refreeze your ice cream. I got 2 more trays. Get some of this other kind. That, can't remember the name of this one here. It kind of melted a little bit because when it softened up too much. This is so much fun. Ice cream bowl. You ever seen an ice cream bowl like this? There's some strawberry. More strawberry. And even the ones that melted a little bit, they're okay to go in. Ah! My little chocolate came off. That's okay. I'll put it back on in a minute. I hate flies. I gotta work fast. I doubt anybody's gonna be ready to eat yet, the ice cream. So I'm gonna end up putting this back in the freezer before this ice cream melts even more. But I just wanted you to see this thing. Ooh-wee. And we also have candy to add. My goodness. You know what? I'm not going to worry about these. I'm just going to put them on the ice cream as decoration. It's starting to melt, but oh well. This is the last tray. And then I'm going to show you how it looks. It's a little tedious, but oh so worth it. So now I've got candies, all different kinds of candies. And I'm just going to sprinkle in and on. And the freeze-dried chocolate-covered strawberries. All right. Get a platter to put this on so you can see it's starting to melt, but there it is, the chocolate balloon bowl. There it is. So hope you give this a try. Understand that there's going to be little mess ups here and there, but they're edible and you can rework it because chocolate is forgiving. Thank you for watching. Please like and subscribe and share. And subscribing doesn't cost you anything, but it'll really help me out if you do. So y'all have a wonderful weekend, and I will be back with another video next week. Take care, guys. Okay, so what we did, I took a knife and I just put it in there and pulled down, and this thing opened up like flower petals or whatever. There's the ice cream and the candy and the bowl that we eat. Look at that. So now we're going to enjoy it. Thank you for watching. Bye.